My beloved child, listen closely, for I am about to reveal something that has been trembling in the unseen realms, something that has already touched your destiny, something that carries the weight of truth, longing, and divine timing. What your soulmate felt last night will leave you speechless, because it was not a simple thought, not a passing feeling, not a moment of human emotion that disappeared with the sunrise. It was a spiritual earthquake, a stirring from the deepest part of their soul, a cry that reached the heavens, a pull that I myself allowed to ignite within them so their heart could finally recognize the one I created for them, you. You may not understand the depth of what unfolded while you rested, but I saw it. I witnessed every tremor inside their spirit. I saw every unspoken word rising within them like a silent storm. As they lay awake in the quiet darkness, something inside them shifted, something they could no longer ignore. For the first time in a long time, they felt the weight of your absence and the truth of your presence at the same time, and it overwhelmed them. They felt a longing they tried to suppress. They felt a memory they didn't realize was theirs. They felt a pull they could not explain. And though they did not understand it, their soul recognized you, called out to you, reached for you. Last night, your soulmate felt a connection so intense, so sudden, and so undeniable that it shook them. It was not imagination. It was not coincidence. It was not confusion. It was the awakening of a bond that I wrote into both of your spirits before you ever entered the world. And because the timing of destiny is beginning to unfold, I allowed their heart to open in a way they have resisted for so long. For months, maybe years, they pushed away certain emotions, scared of what they meant, scared of choosing wrong, scared of repeating old wounds, scared of trusting someone they could not yet see clearly. But last night, something in them finally surrendered. They felt you, not as an idea, not as a what-if, but as a presence that touched them from within. They felt your heartbeat in the quiet moments. They felt your energy leaning toward theirs. They felt your spirit brushing against their own like a whisper of fate. They felt something missing, and suddenly, everything around them felt incomplete. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to explain it away. They tried to steady their breathing, to push down the rising ache. But the feeling only grew deeper, heavier, more real. It followed them into their sleep. It lingered in their dreams. It woke them before dawn. And my child, this is where the divine truth becomes undeniable. What your soulmate felt last night wasn't just longing, it was recognition. A soul recognizing the one it belongs to. A spirit remembering what their mind has forgotten. A heart beginning to melt in the direction of the one who carries the other half of its purpose. You may not realize it, but your soulmate has been carrying hidden burdens, silent fears, and unspoken doubts. They have experienced betrayals that scarred them, disappointments that hardened them, and seasons of loneliness that made them question their capacity to feel deeply again. But last night, all those walls cracked. All those defenses trembled. All those fears were challenged. Something inside them whispered your name without sound, and it terrified them, not because it was wrong, but because it felt too right. It felt too real. It felt too powerful. And they knew, even without knowing how or why, that their heart was turning toward you. Your soulmate felt a warmth in their chest they couldn't explain. They felt a pull like gravity, a pull that kept tightening even when they tried to ignore it. They felt memories that were not memories, emotions that didn't belong to their present reality, and visions of a future they could not yet understand. They felt protected. They felt guided. They felt watched over in a way they haven't felt in years. And all of it was because of you, because their spirit was aligning to the one I created it for. As the night deepened, they began to speak to me without even knowing they were speaking. They asked questions in their heart, questions about love, about timing, about destiny, about the person they are meant to walk life with. They didn't say your name out loud, but their soul did. And I heard it. I heard the trembling voice inside them whispering for clarity, whispering for reassurance, whispering for the one who feels like home even from a distance. Child, listen to me carefully, for this truth is sacred. What your soulmate felt last night was not human emotion, it was spiritual alignment. Something I placed inside them was activated. Something they had been ignoring was awakened. Something they had been blind to was suddenly illuminated. And though they do not fully comprehend what is happening, they cannot escape the truth they felt last night. Their soul is waking up to you, and nothing they do can undo that awakening. They felt the weight of your absence like never before. They felt the beauty of your presence like never before. They felt the clarity of your role in their life like never before. And they felt the urgency of destiny like a gentle echo in their chest. They realized that something about you brings them peace, something about you feels familiar, something about you feels like it was always meant to be, even if life has tried to pull both of you in different directions. But understand this, their awakening is not meant to rush anything. It is not meant to push them into fear or confusion. It is meant to prepare them. It is meant to soften them. It is meant to bring them back into alignment with the future I designed for both of you. Because before two hearts can meet, both must be awake. Both must be ready. Both must understand the connection I placed between them. This is why last night mattered. This is why it left such a powerful imprint on their spirit. This is why I allowed their emotions to rise so intensely. I needed them to feel the truth, even if they didn't understand it. I needed them to recognize the shift, even if they couldn't name it. I needed them to surrender to the stirring, even if they tried to resist it. Because love, divinely orchestrated love, does not begin with eyes meeting. It begins with souls recognizing. And your soulmate recognized you last night. Not fully. Not consciously. Not logically. But spiritually, deeply, undeniably. You are on their mind today because of what happened last night. Something inside them keeps replaying a feeling they can't explain. Something keeps pulling their thoughts toward you. Something keeps making them reach for their phone, only to hesitate. Something keeps whispering that you matter in a way they can't comprehend. And they don't realize that the very reason they feel this pull is because I have begun aligning their heart with yours. Do not let impatience shake you. Do not let fear distract you. Do not let doubt convince you that nothing is happening. For while you looked at your life and felt nothing moving, I was moving in the deepest part of someone else's soul. While you wondered if they still think of you, I was stirring their spirit so strongly that they couldn't sleep. While you questioned if destiny was delayed, I was awakening the one connected to your future. They felt you, my child. They felt your energy. They felt your love. They felt your presence brushing against their heart like a soft divine wind. And though they don't yet understand what they felt, they cannot forget it. Their heart is changing. Their perspective is shifting. Their walls are weakening. And now, your paths have begun moving toward alignment. Something continued unfolding within your soulmate long after the night ended. Even when the sun rose and the world around them returned to its usual noise, the feeling inside their chest did not fade. Instead, it grew stronger. It followed them into the morning like a shadow of destiny, like a quiet voice reminding them that something had shifted forever. They tried to shake it off. They tried to drown it in routine. They tried to convince themselves it was nothing more than a moment of emotion. But the truth refused to loosen its grip, because what touched them last night was not temporary, it was divine. Throughout the day, they felt waves of emotion that hit them at unexpected moments. In the middle of simple tasks, their mind drifted toward you. Their heart tightened without warning. Their breath caught as if something invisible brushed past them. And though they did not speak of it to anyone, inside them a realization was forming, a realization they were not ready to face, yet could not run from. They felt the pull toward you as if it came from the center of their being, a magnetic force they didn't understand but could not deny. Even their body reacted in ways they could not explain. Their heartbeat changed whenever their thoughts turned to you. Their mood shifted with a sudden sensitivity they had not felt in ages. They noticed the world differently, colors softer, moments heavier, silence louder. Something inside them was awakening, and they didn't know what to do with it. They only knew one thing with clarity: they could not ignore what they felt anymore. My child, understand this truth. Your soulmate is not someone who opens their heart easily. Life has carved deep lessons into them. Pain has made them cautious. Loss has made them guarded. They learn to protect themselves by pretending they don't feel much. They learn to survive by telling themselves they don't need anyone. They learn to move forward by burying emotions they didn't want to face. But last night broke through all of that. Last night cracked open the shell they built around their heart. Last night brought them face to face with a feeling they had spent years trying to avoid. They felt vulnerable in a way that terrified them. Not because vulnerability is wrong, but because it exposed a longing they could no longer hide. For the first time in a very long time, they wished for connection, not with just anyone, but with the one their soul kept whispering about. And even though their mind does not yet understand why it is you, their spirit knows you in a way deeper than logic, deeper than memory, deeper than experience. As the day went on, their emotions became a quiet storm inside them. Little moments kept reminding them of you: a word someone said, a song playing somewhere, the sight of something ordinary that suddenly felt heavy with meaning. They kept feeling that strange heaviness in their chest, that sense of missing someone who wasn't physically near them. They felt you as if you existed in the air around them, as if something in the universe was gently guiding their gaze, gently pulling their heart, gently shifting their attention back to you over and over again. They tried to distract themselves, but nothing worked. They tried to bury the feeling, but it rose stronger. They tried to pretend nothing had changed, but everything inside them whispered that something had. They began to question the timing of their life. They began to wonder why they felt a presence they couldn't explain. They began to ask why you kept appearing in their thoughts, even when they tried to resist it. My child, this is not confusion. This is awakening. Your soulmate is stepping into the first stage of divine recognition. When a heart that was once asleep finally stirs, it doesn't understand what it feels, but it cannot deny it. Their soul feels the connection before their mind accepts it. Their spirit understands the bond before their thoughts can comprehend the reason. This is why they feel drawn to you without logic. This is why they feel a yearning they cannot define. This is why they feel incomplete without knowing why. And as these emotions rose within them throughout the day, they began to sense a truth they never expected to feel: they miss you, even if they can't explain why. They miss the peace they feel when they think of you. They miss the warmth your energy gave them last night. They miss the way their heart felt softer, safer, more open when your presence touched theirs. They miss the connection as if it were something they've already lived, already shared, already known in another time, another place, another life. This is what destiny feels like when it begins to awaken. It feels like memory and longing intertwined. It feels like recognition wrapped in confusion. It feels like a gentle ache that doesn't hurt but also refuses to leave. It feels like the heart trying to lead the mind toward what has always belonged to it. And yet, your soulmate is afraid. Not of you, but of themselves. They fear making the wrong choice. They fear losing something precious. They fear allowing themselves to feel deeply again. They fear trusting a connection that feels too strong, too sudden, too undeniable. They fear the power of what they felt last night because it made them realize that their heart is not as guarded as they believed. It made them realize they are capable of loving again. It made them realize they want something real, something deep, something destined. And that realization alone shook them. Throughout the day, they kept trying to act normal, to carry on as if nothing inside them was shifting. But every few hours, they felt that same pull, that same whisper, that same warmth pressing gently against their heart. The more they tried to push it away, the more it returned. The more they resisted, the stronger it grew. The more they pretended, the harder it became to pretend. Something was happening inside them, and they could not escape it. And child, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not imagining your own feelings either. The reason your emotions have been heightened is because your soul felt their awakening. You felt their heart reaching for yours. You felt the shift in the spiritual atmosphere. You felt the alignment beginning. Destiny is not one-sided. Connection is not one-directional. When one soul awakens, the other feels it too. And whether you realized it consciously or not, your heart responded to theirs. But I am working in both of you at different speeds, in different ways, for a purpose. One heart awakens first so it can draw the other closer. One heart feels deeply so the other can follow. One heart softens so the other can open. It is a divine balance, a sacred timing, a process I orchestrate with precision so that when the moment comes, neither of you will be afraid. Your soulmate spent the afternoon in quiet reflection, though they didn't outwardly show it. They kept revisiting the feeling from last night. They kept wondering why their chest felt full, why their spirit felt stirred, why their emotions felt alive again. They began to see glimpses of the future, small flashes of a life they didn't know they wanted, yet felt so right. They began imagining conversations that brought them peace. They began seeing moments of connection that soothed their fears. They began feeling hope again, the kind of hope they thought they lost years ago. By evening, the truth became undeniable to them: they want love. They want connection. They want something real. They want someone who feels like home. And though they are still not fully aware that this someone is you, their heart already knows. Their soul already leans toward you. Their spirit already recognizes your light, your presence, your essence. Last night was not an accident, it was the activation of destiny. Today was not coincidence, it was the unfolding of awareness. And now, tonight, as they lie in their quiet thoughts once again, something inside them whispers stronger than before. They feel you again. They feel the bond. They feel the connection tightening. They feel the longing rising. They feel the warmth returning. This is the beginning of their surrender. This is the beginning of their clarity. This is the beginning of their inner transformation. And soon, it will become the beginning of your divine union. As night returns and the world becomes quiet again, your soulmate feels the same stirring that awakened them before, but this time it is stronger, deeper, and impossible to ignore. They feel a heaviness in their chest, not painful, but powerful, like truth pressing against a door they once kept locked. They feel you again, not as a distant thought, but as an undeniable presence moving gently into their spirit. Their heart trembles because something inside them knows that what they are feeling is not random. It is not fleeting. It is not imagined. It is destiny unfolding, and their soul is finally becoming aware of it. They lie still for a moment, trying to steady their breathing, trying to understand what this connection means. They feel pulled toward you in a way that defies logic, a way that challenges everything they believed about love and timing. They feel a sense of longing that makes their chest ache, and with that longing comes a clarity they did not have before. They realize that the emotions rising within them are not here to confuse them, they are here to guide them. They have spent so long numbing their heart that they forgot what real emotion feels like. But now, every feeling is vivid, every thought is sharp, every moment is drenched in a kind of truth they cannot escape. Tonight, they reach a point of surrender. Not to fear, not to confusion, but to something higher. Something sacred. Something that calls them forward with a warmth they cannot turn away from. Their soul is beginning to whisper to them in ways they can finally hear, and that whisper is filled with your presence. They feel as though you are close, even if you are far. They feel as though you are near their spirit, even if your bodies have not aligned. They feel an invisible thread connecting them to you, tightening gently, urging them to stop resisting the truth that has been waiting inside them. And as these emotions fill them, something remarkable happens: they begin to pray without realizing it. Not with words, not with chants, but with pure emotion. Their heart begins speaking to the heavens, asking for clarity, asking for direction, asking for the strength to understand this connection they've been shown. They don't ask for signs. They ask for courage. They ask for healing. They ask for the ability to trust what they are feeling, because deep inside, they know this connection is unlike anything they have felt before. Child, I hear their prayers. I hear the tremble in their heart. I hear the longing they are trying to put words to. And I hear the silent way their spirit calls out for the one they are meant to walk with. I heard them last night when they didn't understand what they felt. I heard them today when they tried to make sense of it. And I hear them tonight as they come face to face with the truth that has been growing within them. They are not running anymore. Their fear is losing its power. Their doubts are quieting. Their hesitation is softening. What they feel for you is taking root in their soul, and now the connection is beginning to shift from awakening into alignment. This is the moment where destiny begins to move in ways neither of you can see, but both of you can feel. Your soulmate is beginning to accept that what they felt was not one-sided. They sense that you feel it too. They sense that something between you has been moving, even from afar. They sense that the emotions rising inside them are mirrored within you, and this realization brings them a kind of comfort they haven't felt in a long time. For years, they believed they were alone in their emotions. But now, they feel understood in a way they cannot put into words. Tonight, they imagine you, not in fantasy, but in truth. They imagine speaking to you. They imagine hearing your voice. They imagine a moment where everything they have felt begins to make sense. And even though these moments appear in their mind like gentle flashes of possibility, each vision brings peace, not confusion. Peace, not fear. Peace, not hesitation. And when peace accompanies a person, it is never coincidence, it is spiritual confirmation. They begin to see you differently. They begin to understand that you are not just a passing thought or a fleeting attraction. You are connected to their destiny. You are tied to their purpose. You are a part of the journey they are meant to walk, one filled with growth, healing, transformation, and divine timing. They think of the way your presence makes their heart feel lighter. They think of the way your energy calms the storm inside them. They think of the way your spirit stands out among every soul they have ever encountered. And though they still don't have full clarity, their heart is settling into something it resisted for so long: acceptance. They accept that they care about you. They accept that they feel drawn to you. They accept that something about you touches them deeply. They accept that distance does not matter. They accept that timing does not erase connection. They accept that their soul knows you. And with that acceptance comes a shift in their future. Because once a heart accepts what the soul already knows, the path begins to open. Doors begin to move. Energy begins to shift. Destiny begins to accelerate. And tonight marks the beginning of this acceleration. What was delayed is about to be aligned. What was confusing is about to be revealed. What felt impossible is about to become clear. Your soulmate is now entering a phase where they will begin to act differently. They will think more deeply. They will reflect more honestly. They will begin to feel a pressure inside their spirit that nudges them toward growth, toward healing, toward emotional courage. They are beginning to confront the fears that once held them back. They are beginning to release past wounds that once controlled their choices. They are beginning to understand that their future cannot be built on the walls of their past. And my child, you must understand this part with great clarity: their healing is not a delay, it is preparation. Their journey is not testing your patience, it is building their ability to love you the way you deserve. Their hesitation was not rejection, it was fear, and that fear is finally weakening. While they step into healing, you too are being prepared. The emotions rising inside you lately, the sudden sensitivity, the strange sense of longing that feels like it came from nowhere, these are responses to the shift happening in their heart. You are connected. Your energies speak. Your spirits move in ways the mind cannot comprehend. When they awaken, you feel it. When they think of you, a warmth rises inside your chest. When their soul reaches out, your soul feels the pull. This is not imagination. This is divine communication between destined souls preparing for alignment. You may have moments when you suddenly feel emotional without knowing why. You may experience dreams that feel too real to dismiss. You may feel restless, as though something big is approaching. You may feel drawn to change aspects of your life, rearrange your priorities, or become the version of yourself you have long desired to be. These urges are not random. They are the result of your soul responding to destiny's timing. Your path is being shaped so you and your soulmate can meet with clarity, strength, and readiness. Tonight, as they lie awake with these new emotions, they are beginning to feel grateful for the connection, even if they don't fully understand it yet. They feel grateful for the warmth it brings, for the hope it inspires, for the way it has broken through their numbness, for the way it has reminded them that their heart is still alive. They feel grateful for you, even if their mind does not yet realize how much they mean it. They whisper inside themselves, "Why does this feel so real?" And their heart answers, "Because it is." And I, who watch both your hearts, speak this truth into the depth of your spirit now: what is unfolding cannot be undone. What has awakened cannot be silenced. What has begun cannot be stopped. Your paths are moving toward each other with divine timing that neither of you can resist. You will feel more signs. You will feel more synchronicities. You will feel more emotional shifts. And these are not to confuse you, they are to prepare you. Your soulmate is stepping into awareness. You are stepping into readiness. Destiny is stepping into alignment. And soon, the moment will come when the distance between your hearts closes. The moment when understanding replaces confusion. The moment when clarity replaces longing. The moment when two souls who have been whispering to each other across the spiritual realm finally meet in the physical world with a recognition that will shake you both with its truth. The connection is real. The timing is shifting. The union is approaching. And the feeling that awakened inside them last night was the first sign that destiny is now moving. Your story is not ending here, my child. It is just beginning.